David Dobrik has completed a stunning transformation into an old man. Addison has broken down crying after being hounded by paparazzi. Corpse husband is worried a face reveal would disappoint fans. And it's the return of the comment section thing with the comments. All this plus it's March again. But then, hasn't it always been March? On this week's edition of YouTuber News, hosted by me, Benedict Townsend, and brought to you by PopBuzz, the only website that's available exclusively in Terabithia. I've only ever seen the beginning of that film, but what a fun time. A real adventure. Our first story, David Dobrik has completed a stunning transformation into an old man. Now, I'm not talking about the transformation we all make into old people because time is unstoppable and death is inevitable. I'm talking about some fun makeup. David was transformed over the course of 9 hours and then donned a beige outfit and an $8,000 white wig, that is too expensive for a white wig, in order to become an oldie. He was also given makeup on his hands and neck to complete the aging effect. And as you can see here, pretty effective. It looks pretty old. Speaking on Instagram, David said the look terrified his parents and added, quote, "This is the most f***ing insane makeup I've ever worn in my entire life. It's so scary, I can't stop looking at it." Now, David did this to promote some app, and it's not my job to provide free advertising for people, so let's move on. Our second story, Addison has broken down crying after being hounded by paparazzi about allegations that her boyfriend Bryce Hall cheated on her with a porn star. Addison was walking down the street minding her own business when she was accosted by the photographer Vulture Man, who kept asking her about the alleged infidelity. "Do you know this girl?" they said. Like, do you talk to her at all? Do you know who she is? Is there still hope for Bradison? Or is Bradison done? Is Dixon better than Bradison, do you think? Asked this grown man. Addison then dropped her face into her hands and seemed to be wiping away tears. And here's the thing, don't do this, okay? These are public figures. Elements of their lives are public, that's the way it is. But don't run up to someone in the middle of the street and start screaming at them that their boyfriend is cheating on them. Even if they have a somewhat public relationship like these people do, it's just horrible behavior. Leave her alone. Now for his part, Bryce dealt with the accusations quite directly on March the 1st by tweeting, quote, "I didn't cheat on Addison." Pretty vague though, what could that mean? Either way, today's lesson of the week is, don't do this. Let's not do this. By the way, if you're looking to see some James Charles stories on today's episode, we already covered that in its own special episode that came out earlier this week. You can find that on the YouTuber News YouTube channel or on Snapchat if you just go through the previous episodes. I'm sure there's a way of doing that. And that's an episode with a complete explainer about all the accusations about James Charles. So check that out there after this episode if you haven't already. Our third story, Corpse Husband has said he's worried a face reveal would disappoint fans. Now, as you know, Corpse Husband has never shown his face, and he made the comment on a Minecraft stream he was doing along with some K-pop stars, some other online stars, and he was asked exactly when he would be presenting his visage. His Michelle visage. When would you present that to the world, Corpse Husband? And in response he said, quote, when you have millions of people like, I think he looks like this or like this, and you look dramatically different from all of them, it's like you're gonna let down a lot of people at once, and I'd rather not do that. He went on to add, with how the internet is, it'll probably inevitably happen against my will, but am I planning it? No. Now, Corpse Husband has of course discussed a face reveal in the past, saying, quote, "A lot of people think it's a business thing or a gimmick, but I just deeply f***ing hate my face. People's expectations at this point are ridiculous and unachievable." And it's really sad that he apparently feels this way, that he'll be letting people down with his face, or that he feels that he doesn't look good enough or wouldn't match people's expectations. It's horrible if people have made him feel this way, and I also completely understand the pressure you must feel after this thing has become built up, kind of, without you meaning it to. People are like, what's his face like? Is it made of diamonds? But I do think, he's got a lot of loyal fans, a lot of people who care about him. I'm sure there would be a lot of people who'd be very nice about his face, but I also, even more so, completely respect his decision to keep his face to himself. It's his face, it's no one else's face. If he doesn't want to show it, that's cool. And with that, we come to the end of the news and onto everybody's favorite segment, the thing where I look at your comments on youtube.com. I've got to come up with a better name for that. Now last week I didn't ask you a specific question, and that was definitely deliberate. I didn't just forget to do that. And so I'm just going to look at some of the random comments people have left. This one really made me laugh. It's from Sarah. She said, between the rat and the laughing lady and Suki and Dan Howwatch, I feel there's so much lore to this series that I'm not caught up on, and I don't even know where to start. Sarah, I don't want to make you feel bad. The lore goes so much deeper than that. You got the rat wife. There was an episode where I had an assassination attempt against me, and then I was in a coma, and there was a whole episode that was a dream. I was running for president for like 6 years. This show goes deep, man. But if you get into it, it's incredibly rewarding. And you know, we never just like set things up and never conclude them. There's always like nice, firm arcs with beginnings and ends. No disappointment. Have you ever seen a factory that makes other factories? Oh, you're gonna love it. That being said, you've mentioned something here called Dan Howwatch, and I've never heard of that. I don't think that's a thing that we've ever done on this show. Dia Dra said, we need more Suki. Well, she could be in this episode, but she's busy running around like a little cat, and I can't catch her. She's slippery as anything. Sammy says, listen, Mr. Townsend, eventually you will have to talk about Minecraft YouTubers. I know you don't want to, but they are inevitable over my dead body. If we start talking about Minecraft YouTubers, we will start talking about Minecraft. We start talking about Minecraft, Herobrine will come and he will get us all. So I'm not doing that. I've always said this is a show about real news and sometimes Roblox. Cheese Gromit says, Cheese Gromit, on brand, and I respect that. And finally, Sydney Hayes says, thank you for not picking up Suki, but still describing her for us. That's the level of effort we're putting into this channel. She's opposite me right now. She's a small cat, she's white, dark bits of pointing on her, running around, 5 legs, your standard cat. This has been the comment time. Wow, great comments. Thank you to everyone who sent those comments in, sent them in the YouTube comment section. And for next week, I'm gonna ask you a question and I'd like your best answers and I'll read some of them out. And that question is very simple and I have thought about it ahead of time. So don't think I'm just making up on the spot. I'm not just stalling for time right now where I desperately try and think of a question. That would be insane. No, the question is very simple and it is as follows. It's the following question, and that question is, what is the matter? What's the matter? And don't get too dark with me. Let's keep it light, folks. What's the matter? Put the answers in the comments below on YouTube. Oh, I've opened a can of worms there. I opened an industrial bucket of worms there. I'm Benedict Townsend, and this is YouTuber News, which airs every week on the YouTuber News YouTube channel and also on Snapchat Discover. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing either by hitting subscribe on YouTube or by swiping up on the last snap of this story on Snapchat. It's the best way to get brand new episodes of the show. And of course, there is a brand new episode of the YouTube News podcast that came out this week, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts. Suki is going to the toilet, which I take as a personal sign of disrespect. Thank you, Suki. That's how you feel about my show. Noted. I'll be back on Tuesday with a new episode of YouTube News Quick Bites. Bite. And I'll be back next Friday with another installment of The Full Fat Show. There'll also be a new podcast next Tuesday. Either way, look after yourselves, have a great week, and remember, Cheese Gromit.